Good evening. Welcome again to my astrology segment here at astrology.com.au. I'm Dadhichi. I know it's been a while since I've had a chance to talk to you about some of the deeper aspects of astrology, and it's great to see so many of you coming along and subscribing to the channel. You know, astrology is often oversimplified. It's actually an incredibly vast topic which requires years of dedicated study, analysis, and also intuition. So, you know, often when you're surfing the net, looking at this side or that, it's easy to feel that a lot of what's on show, including some of the more general information that I myself have to offer, is oversimplified. Let me give you an example with a topic called retrogression. I often chuckle when I hear people responding to my question, "Oh, how are you today?" "Oh man, my retrograde's Mercury, having a really bad day, everything's going wrong." You know, people forget that there are quite a few planets, and Mercury is not the only planet that from time to time is retrograde. What does retrogression actually mean, though? It's actually an apparent reverse motion of a planet in the heavens. It's not actually going backwards. Let me give you an example. If two cars are traveling along the highway and one is doing 100 kilometers an hour and the other is doing 80 kilometers an hour, then of course, as the faster vehicle overtakes the slower vehicle, it will appear that the slower vehicle is going backwards, relatively speaking. Likewise, the planets, relatively speaking, appear to go backwards sometimes. Now it's interesting because there's a lot of controversy over the effects of retrograde planets. Pardon me. And it is an oversimplification to say that if Mercury is retrograde, everyone on the planet is having, you know, problems signing contracts or in their communication or losing things or becoming forgetful or whatnot. In fact, in the ancient Vedic schools of astrology, it's said that the retrogression is a very powerful thing. It actually increases the strength of the planet, and depending on which area of your horoscope the planet governs, then the effects will be felt in that area. Just now I'm looking at the current zodiacal signs according to tropical or Western astrology, and I see here that Jupiter has recently gone into retrograde motion. So what does that mean? How does it affect each of the 12 star signs differently? Let me briefly give you a synopsis of that. If we take Aries, Jupiter is the ruler of the 12th and the 9th sectors. This has to do with travel, journeys, holidays. So one possible scenario for Aries right now is that holidays, journeys and trips, the planning for that may actually not work out as expected. There can be a delay or a reversal of plans, or perhaps generally going over and re-evaluation of the overall circumstances surrounding that. For Taurus, Jupiter has a lot to say about finances. It rules the 11th place of profits and the 8th place of joint or shared resources, banking, finance, insurances, taxes, death, legacies, wills and inheritances. So these sorts of things will be under the microscope for Taurus, just now under Jupiter's retrogression. For Gemini, Jupiter is the ruler of the 7th and the 10th. So it's to do with our public relations, career and partnerships, both personal and business. So those areas of life will be strongly reevaluated under this retrogress transit. For Cancer, Jupiter relates to the 6th place, which is health, deaths, disease, and the 9th place, which is legality. So perhaps there's some legal issues that are pending for some Cancerians, debts or some issues associated with what's owing or what's owed will be need to work out just now. For Leo, Jupiter is actually quite a good planet, ruling the 5th house of future karma. That 5th zone is very, very powerful. It has to do with the future life. It has to do with children. It has to do with love affairs as well. So all these areas are in focus for you, Leo, if you're listening to what I'm saying now. Virgo finds Jupiter ruling the domestic sphere, and to a lesser extent the relationships. So we could see that there's some second thoughts about changes domestically or relationships associated with family life. Libra, Jupiter rules the 3rd and also the 6th zone. So this has to do with one's courage, one's thinking, shorter journeys, and again, debts, health and disease. Actually, my feeling is that some of your exercise or dietary regime now may need a rethink. Incidentally, when Jupiter is ruling the difficult sectors of one's horoscope, it becomes what we call a malefic planet. In these cases, the retrogression of the planet indicates that it becomes much stronger. We don't want that. You see, the strength of a malefic planet causes more troubles. That is what I meant earlier, that we can't easily generalize or simplify these matters. We have to look more carefully at the horoscope to see just how it's going to play out in the life of each individual. Scorpio, Jupiter is a very good planet for you, ruling your finances and your speculative areas and your relationships to some extent. So for you, the retrogression, in contrast to, say, for example, Libra, is much more powerful. This will bring you some enhanced opportunities financially. Some good business deals will be there for you. Even if the retrogression itself shows that you'll have to reevaluate certain aspects, it will definitely be positive for you. Jupiter is ruling Sagittarius. So for Sagittarians, this is an important planet. They're a ruling planet. This has to do with one's own self-worth, one's personality, one's persona in the world, the mask one shows to the world. So for you, Sagittarius, Jupiter is going to bring some reevaluation over who you are as a person, as an individual. Capricorn, Jupiter's not so friendly to you. It is your 3rd and your 12th place. These two places, again, have to do with journeys, travels, trips, expenditure as well, as shown by this 12th zone. So the way you're spending your money now may need to have a real rethink. Aquarius, finances are ruled by Jupiter, 2nd and the 11th places. 2nd place has to do with your personal exertion, the income you earn from what you do individually to earn your money, whereas your 11th zone has to do with profits from your business, if you're running an independent business. So this is doubly indicating your financial matters through this next few weeks. You'll have to put a lot of attention to these areas of your life. Finally, Pisces, Jupiter is co-ruling your rising sign or your sun sign, and has a lot to do with your professional aptitude just now. So some opportunity to elevate yourself in your work, take a new job, or if you're awaiting some promotion, may be delayed, or you'll have to re-examine the circumstances surrounding that. That's a general view of how we study for each of the 12 star signs the retrogression of a planet and how it may possibly impact upon the life of the person. Naturally, there are many different factors: the rising sign, the moon sign, the sun sign. Then of course all of the other planets have to be looked at so that we can come to a cohesive whole in our interpretation. Look forward to talking to you again here as usual on astrology.com.au and YouTube. Have a great week. Bye bye.